Greetings and salutations, everyone. It's time once again for another Road Most Traveled. I've decided that I want to do the Threnals this playthrough, mostly because I already picked up a additional Voice of the Master, and I would like to try to make another Master's Gym. What is that Master's Gym thing called? Master's Gift Gym, so I can get rid of 2 named items in my backpack and put 1 thing in my bag. So let's knock it out. The nice thing about this little area out here is you get to ride your pony. So before we actually start the Threnal's quest, let's have a quick conversation about Threnal and this whole explorer area. One of the few areas of the game where you have mini quests, right? So there's a couple of mini quests out here, and then there's regular quests. So out here in the regular quest land, you have 3 zones of regular quests, right? You have quests over here. Threnal East, which are located right over here around the corner. All 3 quests are in there. You come out and you advance the quest by talking to the same gentleman. And then you have, on the other side, you have Threnal West, which is right over here. Which again, you go into the same quest area and you advance the quest chain. Morning Titan. Biohazard, DDO names do not delete. So if you still have your account, you probably still have your character. And then we have Threnal South, which you can only get to once you've already done East and West. Carefully not foolishly repeated West. And then talked to the guy who controls East an additional time and say, like, is there more to do here? And they'll send you to the south. Then once you've done all of those things, then you can come back and get your quest and reward here. There's a couple other highlights to check out here. So, like, here's the Dave Arneson Memorial. This guy is a real... If you love Dungeons & Dragons and you like the role-playing aspect of it, Dave here is basically the inventor of that half of Dungeons & Dragons. He invented a couple other rules that have kind of carried on. He invented a couple of really amazing quest locations. So it's good that there's a memorial for Dave. And then you have a little bar right here, the Delver's Canteen. And then out here in the wilderness, so you have a couple of like mini quests, right? Like, they're not really quests, but they're kind of quests. Let's see if I can remember where they're all at. Nope, not this way. It's been a minute since I have like ran around out here. But so like here is the giant supplies, which I guess we'll just go do. Like I said, I haven't done it in ages, so we might as well throw it into the quest here. Finish clicking all these buttons. This used to be like a loot run, I think, or maybe the different one. There's a different one that used to be the loot run. We're currently all set up for fire damage. Let's switch to acid damage if we're going to be fighting fire giants. Of course, that might be the only fire giant. There's a nasty champ. Oh, I haven't seen a crate. There's some crates. This must be the reason I never do this quest, because it involves breaking crates. Alright, Biohazard, thanks for hanging out, buddy. Appreciate you. Hope you answered all your questions and got you hungry for some more Dungeons and Dragons. That's a crate. There's their champion. I think that's their captain. Or we have a special name. Nope. Wasn't a captain, just a champion. Look at him get so mad. So angry. So many angry boys. We get a mushroom. So way back in the Wayback Machine, these quests here, because they were so fast, not only were they loot runs, popular loot runs, but because they were level 10 quests, they could drop the awesome +5 +5 loot window, +5 modifier weapons. There you go, that's how you put it. So that means that, again, in the Wayback Machine, one of the things that you could get out of here would be a Vorpal weapon. Because Vorpal used in the OG day was a +5 weapon buff. So yeah, a lot, and stuff like paralyzing, Vorpal, disruption. Is there another one? Banishing. All those classification of weapons could randomly drop out of here. So back when all loot was random loot or raid loot, here's the captain. You would zerg in here, shoot this captain, blow up all of the breakables, and loot this chest. Sometimes you wouldn't even... I don't know if you have to complete the quest to loot this chest. You might have just ran in and shot the captain. Yeah, see, you might even not have looted the chest. Or did the quest. There we go. See, it's not a ton of experience. It took me way longer than it probably should have. But there's no in reward. I don't even think this counts on the favor. Yeah, see, it's not listed. So that's a cool little thing from in the Wayback Machine. And then one other kind of like, it's not really a quest per se, but it's like a pseudo quest in the sense that you get a pretty cool reward for doing it. You go back this way, back where the road forks. So we come in from this direction, but if you go up this way, through this fork, there'll be a couple of ways of trash. Not interested in the trash. Some earth elementals, again, I'm not that interested. But right over here, Whoop-de-doo. Past all this trash is an arena. Right? It's like right here. I guess it's a couple more down. Right here. Now, the reason why this in my brain counts as like another one of those like pseudo questy type things is that you get a really cool sword and or dagger, right? And what you do is in, I think, Threnal West, one of the things that you can pick up in here is a Threnal ceremonial dagger. You put the dagger in, and all these outsiders like spawn on you. And you clear these waves after waves after waves of trash. And then when you're done, you get to choose between a sword or a dagger. And they're the Threnal. Let me just look it up on the wiki for you, making sure that I'm not. There we go. Threnal War Dagger, Threnal War Blade. Come on. Hold up. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Dungeons and Dragons online, or the wiki. Here we go. So here's your Threnal War Blade. Just to kind of give you an idea. It's 1.5 a D10 plus 5 at level 8. The 19 and 20 times 2 crit range. So it's like your normal longsword, kinda. Plus 5, but it has a red slot and a purple slot, which is actually pretty interesting. And it's got a slightly stepped up weapon die, right? Because normally a longsword would be a D8 instead of a D10. So you get a little bit of a step up here. But what's really cool is if you're like a cleric or something that happens to have a great sword, or sorry, a longsword as your paladin weapon or your named weapon or whatever, you can like put a spellcasting augment in it, still have your regular sword, or two augments or whatever. So it's got a lot of flexibility to it. The same thing with the dagger. Dagger is 0.5 at a D6. 1920 times 2, so that's like a regular dagger basically, but it has 2 slots in it. So I'm a big fan of these personally. Whether you love them or not, it's kind of up to you, but I've always found them kind of interesting, and it's like one of the few areas in the game that have these like pseudo quests out in the Explorer Zone. Yeah, you get things like run around and collect various like sigils and then bring them back and get an optional named or whatever, but nothing like this. Nothing like one actual quest, even though it doesn't show up in the quest log, and then one like basically pseudo quest for all intents and purposes. Just run past all this stuff and get to the point where they have to recall, leash, rebound, whatever magical word. Oh, they shot me with a magic missile right in my bum. Knocked me off my horse. Giddy up, pony! Alright. Well, I think with that, I'm going to call this one a video. A really short one, like a little bit of an overview of Threnal. And then we'll start knocking out, like, apparently, Threnal West next time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon. Toodles.